Hello all, this is JC3 from Is This Real? Do you want to start your own podcast? Then look no further than Buzzsprout.com. We here at Green Hour Media use Buzzsprout, and we love the team at Buzzsprout. They are all about helping you succeed. Buzzsprout gets your show listed in every major podcast platform. Follow the link in our show notes to let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. It gets you a $20 paid Amazon gift card if you sign up with a paid plan and helps support our show. Join us and over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout.com to get your message out to the world.
From the Keith Winston Studios in Paterson, New Jersey, Green Hour Media proudly presents Is This Real? Tonight, we're going to examine the Tunguska Event. What went on? And now your host, JC3.
Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic episode of Is This Real?
Is this real?
And in the booth today, we have a full booth. And this is a combination we haven't had in a minute. Hopefully it goes well, because So, as this is your host, JC3, I'm here. We have Dad, your intro person over there. Dad, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
We have, as you heard, Mr. West is back with us in the booth. Mr. West.
Unbelievable!
How are you, Mr. West?
Unstoppable.
Let's get it. And we also have the dick at the desk, or the Don at the desk, if you will.
It's the Don at the desk.
Anthony from Anthony's here with us today. Say hello to everybody, Anthony.
What's going on?
We don't have Roadblock. He's out sick with ear infection.
All right, he's out sick. That's all anybody needs to know.
Okay, calm the fuck down. So tonight, gentlemen, we are talking about the Tunguska Event.
Really? Wait, hold on. What was that, Joe?
The Tunguska Event.
Okay, good. Gotcha. Fuck you.
There's a difference between the Tunguska Event. The Tunguska Event.
Busting my balls, you meat.
All right, so the Tunguska Event. Before we get started, did anybody ever hear about this before?
Yes.
Maybe like 20 minutes ago.
I'm a veteran. I heard it 25 minutes ago.
Damn, bro. Yo. Where's his medal?
So, Anthony, you've heard about this before?
Yes, I have heard about the Tunguska Event, yes.
Where did you hear about it, Anthony?
Well, for a long time, no one understood what exactly happened. It happened in a very remote place in the world. It's like North Siberia in Russia. And there's been conspiracies about actually what happened. And people play that in, like, I think it was either Ghostbusters or it was Men in Black made a reference to it. And I was like, what the hell was that? So I did my own digging into what it was. So yeah, I know a little bit about the Tunguska Event.
All right, so I will give a little backstory into it. So the Tunguska Event, an enormous explosion that is estimated to have occurred at 7:14 a.m. On June 30th, 1908. So over 100 years ago. Over 115 years ago.
Well, when you say
almost.
Enormous, you got to really put it into perspective.
Okay, let me get to it. So at an altitude of 15,000 to 30,000 feet, flattening some 2,000 square kilometers or 500,000 acres, and charring more than 100 square kilometers of pine forest near the Podkamennaya, I believe. Whatever the fuck that is.
It's Russian.
I knew he was going to say that.
Near that river, Tunguska River in central Siberia. Russia. The energy of the explosion is estimated to have been equivalent to the explosion force of as much as 15 megatons of TNT. 1,000 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima on August 6th, 1945.
It is so powerful that if you were to drop, well, let me put it like this. It was 12 megatons, right? If you dropped a 12 megaton bomb on New York City, it would wipe out everything from Summit, New Jersey, all the way east to Mineola, Long Island, as far north as Westwood, New Jersey, and as south far south.
That's
as
Sandy Hook.
Fort Hancock.
So
That
it's
is-
so it's like that. So it's like that. That Soviet nuke that they tested. The
Tsar Bomba?
The Tsar Bomba. It's kind of like that, right?
No. I mean, it's in the same thing. Let me put it like this. This
Tsar
would have
Bomba
been
sounds
the
like a-
fourth. The Tunguska event would probably be the fourth biggest bomb. Because after that, you have Castle Bravo, which is our bomb, which was 15 megatons. And then you have two Tsar Bombas, and the biggest one ever was 100 megatons.
Right.
If you were to drop a Tsar Bomba in New York, it would go from anywhere from Islip, Long Island, out to just past Mount Olive, up from Peekskill down to Tom's River. It would everything in that blast zone would be
wiped out.
radiated, completely gone. So this
Obliterated.
exactly. This is 12
Kapooey.
megatons. It would fuck up your weekend plans. Let me just put it like that.
I mean, I'm gonna need a shitload of sunscreen for something like that.
I don't think we have SPF 10,000.
I do.
Okay.
I don't know. Has anybody else, when you're describing that, did you get like any kind of like chill up your backbone? Because I sure did.
Nah.
No, see, we're
No.
okay. We're gonna get to the part where millennials were used to shit like that.
No,
It
not
doesn't
even that.
scare
Not
us.
even that. No, I've done enough. When you start looking into weird factoids about the universe and how hot things get, or how things are
Not as hot
created,
As Eric.
not as hot as Eric,
Damn, y'all.
as
Buy
how
me a
things are
drink.
created, something like that, where it's just like, oh yeah, this would blow up basically all of Long Island, means nothing, because what's happening out in the cosmos is 100 million times scarier than anything.
Oh, so he had to get all education.
No, I'm not getting educational.
he's right, but that's not
Like,
the
Bro,
one
have
I'm
you,
trying to
bro,
get
I'm
do
to.
you
thinking-
know about a neutron star, bro?
Exactly.
Do you know how scary and how much gravity
Well,
that
yeah,
thing
I know.
has?
I'm
If
thinking
that
in
thing
terms of-
collapses, it's all
Right.
done. If
I'm-
our star collapses, we're fucked.
Well, of
I'm
course.
I'm thinking in terms of perspective on the grand scale of things. This is absolutely nothing, but to us, right?
It's everything.
It's everything. It would definitely, like I said, you would have to change your weekend plans, and Broadway
you
would
have
be
to
a thing
find
of
a
the
new
past.
vacation
So
spot.
wait, hold on, wait a minute. So this thing went off. So it's just, so is it like just, so did like the same effects as a nuke?
No,
So like
Yeah,
no
no.
type of radiation was released
Well,
or anything?
Well, so the radiant energy from such of an explosion would be enough to ignite forest, but the subsequent blast wave would quickly overtake the fires and extinguish them. Thus, the Tunguska blast charred the forest, but did not produce a sustained fire
Or a crater.
or a crater.
So the thing went off like in the air or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically it did. Well, see that's the thing. It's kind of like what a nuclear bomb does. When you drop a nuclear, well, not you. I've never actually done this personally. Obviously, I'm not on my weekends. I'm not sitting there
Joe,
hitting drop.
Joe, if you had an extra bomb, where would
Yeah.
you detonate?
No, but if you drop a bomb, you don't detonate it when it hits the floor. You detonate about above the sky. So
No, yeah, but it
goes out.
usually like explodes like about 1,500 to 2,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, something
just
like
to, just
that.
to increase the shock wave and all that.
yeah,
Yes.
so it goes like east
goes-
to west. It
yeah.
doesn't go north and south. Or
It's
like,
just a complete sphere, so it just obliterates everything and like whatever.
So
like,
I think that's what happened with this is that it sat there and it went off in the sky and it did that type of wave to where if it actually hit the Earth, I don't know what would have happened if it hit the Earth. Honestly, how big the crater would
Well,
be
if
something
it was an asteroid.
if it was.
If it was an asteroid that size, we probably wouldn't be here right now. It
That's
would
what I'm
probably-
saying.
It would have probably altered the Earth in some way.
We would have been like the dinosaurs. There would have
Yeah.
been mad dust in the sky, and like the sun would have been blocked out.
I just find any event that when you start using that word megatons, and when Anthony's describing 12 megatons could do such damage, I mean we're sitting 12 miles outside of New York City where we are right now, 12 to 15 miles.
yeah,
If they dropped even something even smaller than that over New York City, we don't have a chance.
Well, and you're also if anything happens like that, you're also killing like almost 100 million people.
Well, that's nice. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about me.
nah, it would be
fuck us.
It wouldn't be 100 million, but it would be up there. Like you just remember, because New York,
50.
maybe 30 to 50 million.
Well,
'Cause remember-
Manhattan alone is 8 million.
yeah, that's 8 million there. Yeah, okay, maybe 50 million.
I mean,
but
when
still,
I
it's a
when I
lot.
said that before, though,
And North Jersey is compact as fucking rats.
There's a lot of dead motherfuckers.
yeah, and the current state of
We
affairs
do
of
have
what we're doing
sympathy,
now,
people. I swear to you.
when they're throwing around, they're literally throwing around that name, that word, nuclear war. Oh, we might be nuclear. You can't be might about it. You can't, because it's not going to. You're not going to have tomorrow morning. So that's what scared the shit out of me when you were just saying it, Anthony. Because, I don't know what they got in their arsenal to do something like that. I'm sure they have.
Well, here's
if
something.
we got it, I'm sure they do.
Yeah, well, here's something about the event. It says, on the basis of historical records of significant noctilucent cloud development in the skies over Europe following the event, some scientists contend that a comet caused the explosion. Such clouds are thought to be the result of sudden influx of ice crystals in the upper atmosphere, such as those that could have been triggered by rapid vaporization of a comet. Other scientists maintain that the event was caused by an asteroid, a large meteor, perhaps 50 to 100 meters, that's 150 to 300 feet here in America, and diameter, and having a stony or carbonaceous composition.
Well, either way, like the whole asteroid thing doesn't make any sense to me because if it was an asteroid, I'm just thinking just off of what I remember from like freaking 7th grade, like science and shit, is that that shit starts burning up in the atmosphere. But either way, like if it would have exploded like that, it would have made a crater.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, what they're saying is that because it exploded in the air, that there was no crater, it just caused a fireball.
You still would have seen. Well, I mean,
think of it. Here's what I think. It's akin to when a jet plane goes so fast it creates a sonic boom because it's moving faster than sound is traveling. Mm-hmm. I think that's what happened. I think this meteor, this comet, whatever it was flying so close to the Earth, and it heated up so fast because it was frozen from outer space. Upon entry into Earth's atmosphere, it heated up so fast that it blew above, this space in Siberia. And what fucked up all the trees, because there's pictures online, all these trees are like bent over, all facing the same. And there was one guy.
Well, you could say that was from the shockwave.
Exactly. I think that's what it's more like. It's more of a shockwave.
It's an epicenter.
Pushed everything.
They found an epicenter.
Yeah.
To where this thing would have blown up.
Well, let me put it like this. A shockwave, this is off of, this was an academic article written by a gentleman named Timothy Chilman. I don't know.
Ooh, academia.
I don't know how accurate this guy's finding is, but it's from an academic website. It's from an EDU website, so I tend to trust it. At least if it's not true, at least it's a valid opinion. Right. It says a shockwave circled the Earth twice. People were knocked off their feet, and windows 400 miles distant broke. Seismic stations across Eurasia registered the blast, and it was detected by the recently invented barograph in the United Kingdom. In the United States, the Mount Wilson Observatory and the Smithsonian Astrophysical Observatory reported a decrease in atmospheric transparency that lasted for months. So the shockwave of this fucking event circled the Earth twice.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yes, it was recorded. Some seismic waves were recorded in Europe. The blast had been initially visible from about 500 miles away, and because the object vaporized, gases were dispersed into the atmosphere, thus causing abnormally bright nighttime skies in Siberia and Europe for some time after. So you had daytime, no nighttime.
Yeah. Like, okay, so you think that's 500 miles, you could see it from 500 miles. That's watching a bomb go off in New York City
and seeing it in Myrtle Beach.
Well, Ohio to be,
Well, either way,
we don't talk about Ohio.
Fuck Ohio. No, I'm thinking
what
south.
What you mean? Dave Chappelle lives in Ohio.
Well, I don't know
what
about these
Bow
guys.
Wow?
Hold on, wait a minute.
First of all, you really gonna disregard Bow Wow like that?
I don't know what he's talking about, but I can tell you this much: I like Ohio.
Thank you.
Ohio's a great state.
Anywho,
my aunt is from Ohio. So
my aunt.
I got cousins in Ohio. Shout out to Mark and Billy.
Okay.
I need the time.
Oh.
This is how this works.
13 minutes.
Okay, thank you. We can continue talking for another minute and a half.
Yeah,
put that on podcast.
Boom, boom. That's what happened. It went boom. The world got
This
fucked
guy,
up.
what a rookie! I swear.
Well, you know. Also, thank God this thing happened over trees. Because the way you're talking.
Well, I mean, it's 1908. I mean,
if this is public, like you just said, this hits New York City at that point. You're talking about millions of
hundreds
dead
of people.
Yeah.
And who
1908
knows?
millions.
Huh?
Yes.
1908 million.
And
Yes.
being
At
that
least
it's
a few.
on the water like that, what happens with who knows? I mean,
Godzilla. That's
you're
what would
talking
happen.
What happens
Godzilla
is-
would
You know
use.
what? Jerk me off, okay?
What,
There
hap-
you go.
what happens
What's happening?
is
What is happening right now?
Parsippany becomes beachfront property. That's what happens. That's what happens right
Okay.
there.
In the short, that's a yes.
But yeah, it was so that's why I think this asteroid blew up over Siberia. The shock wave didn't leave a crater, but it did blow the fuck up, and it was felt around the world. And the pictures are there, the aftermath, and somebody said that it's like walking through a forest of down to telephone poles, because the bark of all the trees and all the limbs were stripped from these trees. That's a scary fucking image, because that ain't natural.
Well, we're about to go to break, but I have two questions. Have there been any recordings from any other places on Earth during that time that can back up that if was felt around the world?
Well, I just
Yeah, there was.
listed
It actually registered on a size.
Well, in Europe, yes, but like the
Eurasia,
Americans.
yeah. Seismic stations across Eurasia registered the blast. It was detected by the recently invented barograph in the UK.
All right, okay.
And the United States, it was the Mount Winslow, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah,
And two,
everyone's done.
we're going to talk about conspiracy theories when we get back, because Anthony has some conspiracy theories that he brought up.
And there's one thing too that we haven't touched on, but go ahead. We'll
But there's a question I have, and I'm going to ask it again at the end of this podcast, because this is the second time that we're having a mystery inside, I guess it would be the Siberian wilderness that we're talking about, the Yatlov Pass incident, and now this one. Can Siberia, like the Siberian wilderness, is it just as scary as the deserts we have?
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
But
They got the fucking Yeti.
we're going to sit there and talk more about that when we get back. We'll be right back.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey, Ryan. Hi, this is Sarah Palin.
Ryan, Donald Trump Jr.
Harsh to win seal. Hey, everybody, I want y'all to check out a fellow Marines podcast.
My name is Ted Nugent, and I got a call from my buddy Ryan F. Samuels, and he wants me to tell you that he's a working hard, playing all-American son of a who is celebrating God, family, country.
Welcome to the Ryan Samuels Show, one of the top political podcasts in the United States, where we have a healthy distrust for government and mainstream media. The Ryan Samuels Show is a raw, unfiltered look at American politics.
Hi, this is Anthony from Multimedia Mafia. If you love what we do and you want to know more about us, head on over to greenarrowmedia.org. On there, you're going to find links to both Multimedia Mafia show and our sister show, Is This Real?, which is all about conspiracies and aliens and all sorts of wonderful stuff like that. If you want to support us, head on over to our merch page where you can buy a hat or a mug. We have lots of different designs and cool colors. If you want to meet us, we got pictures up there. We have a little biography, and you can even stream the show right through the website. And hey, don't forget to check out our YouTube link, where you can check out all the filming that we do right on our YouTube page. Check us out, greenarrowmedia.org.
And welcome back to our Tunguska Event episode. Anthony, you have some
Theories?
yes, conspiracy theories?
Yes, I do.
Let's
Okay.
talk about them one by one.
Well, this one dates back to Nikola Tesla. Here's a conspiracy theory. It says 1901, he was in the Wardenclyffe Tower in New York, and he was using the tower to further his experiments into the transmission of electricity. So basically being able to power shit wirelessly from across the room without it being plugged in, right?
Yes, he was known for that.
Yes. So in this tower, he was running these experiments, and his chief financial backer, which was J.P. Morgan, withdrew all the funding because he thought that this was like...
We're not going to make any money out
Exactly.
of this.
He was
This
dissatisfied.
is witchcraft.
Exactly. So they think that Tesla tried to salvage his work at the tower by doing like a publicity stunt, and he used some sort of transmitter to transmit an electrical wave through the earth, and he tested it, and that's what caused the Tunguska event.
Wait. Well, hold on. So this theory is saying that Tesla got pissed off that his backing was taken away.
Yes.
And then
I don't know yet.
And then he blew up Siberia.
Tesla had become convinced that his wireless electricity transmitter could be used as a weapon, able to transmit an electrical wave through the earth with such intensity it could destroy a target hundreds of miles away.
That's fucking crazy.
So,
mind you, they're talking over there. Me and Anthony are just talking now. Their mics are off.
So, he tried to do that and do it as a publicity stunt to get money back. Now, here's the crazy part.
Wait. So basically, they're saying that he did as like a publicity stunt that would like a
to prove that like, hey, my work.
Yeah,
is
that would
valid.
be like a magician
exactly
does. Like,
here's the weird part. But at the time of the blast, a admiral who was stationed near the North Pole, Admiral Robert Perry, was contacted by Tesla.
By the North Pole.
Yes, he was
North
camped
Pole
out at
anywhere near the.
He was camped
Siberia.
Ellesmere Island, which is near the North Pole, right? So you have Admiral Robert Perry at the North Pole, and he says, apparently, he was that Tesla reached out to him and said, "Hey, be on the lookout for any weird signals coming out of the north, like coming out of like the top half of the planet." And then the Tunguska happened.
Yeah, but that was 1901. This was 7 years later, though.
Yeah, I know that, but like, the theory is that Tesla was behind the blast, and it was a publicity stunt gone wrong because his wave of electricity overshot its target and exploded at Tunguska.
Well, what exploded? Like he just blew up air?
Yeah, it's just an explosion. Like it was electromagnetic explosion that happened.
Well, that shit. You know what that is? It sounds like, you know, when like Electro just like comes out of physical air in Spider-Man movies or anything like that. It's kind of like that. Is that what you're trying to say? That he created Electro? I
guess. Like,
okay.
There's a lot of theories that saying that Nikola Tesla did something to try to salvage his, work, and wound up accidentally blowing up a part of Siberia.
Cool.
Because we know that Tesla tried to make a death ray.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. So
Nikola
Tesla was that motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, he's also
Nikola Tesla also got his ideas from the pyramids, but that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla is very famous for saying that if you understood the power of 3, 6, and 9, the numbers 3, 6, and 9, you could unlock secrets of the universe.
And you know what's wild? Just to throw that out there, when I produce shit in with music, all my mixing usually like all the perfect levels are always a multiple of those. Is always a multiple of 3.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing from producers. Like you get the perfect kind of sound when it's a beat of 3 or a 6 or a 9. It's crazy.
And we all know how good 6ix9ine is, right?
Giggity.
I was talking about the musician.
Go fuck yourself.
Okay.
Go fuck
yourself. Is that the guy that's got the shit all over his face?
That's the fucking...
Yeah. No, I don't like 6ix9ine. I was making a sexual joke. Calm down.
I don't approve. What you gonna do, nigga? Find me?
Rat me out. All right, here's another conspiracy theory. A collision with a miniature black hole or a piece of antimatter.
What the fuck? That don't even make sense.
So this is according to many.
Let him explain.
According to many experts, quote unquote, the Tunguska explosion was supposedly caused by annihilation, physical process that happens when a subatomic particle collides with its retrospective antiparticle of the opposite charge.
English.
Basically, when matter meets antimatter, shit go boom.
Okay.
That theory was first introduced in 1941 by Lincoln La Paz, and he was a scientist apparently. That's
it.
That's it. Like,
First of all, I find I don't even understand astrophysics, let alone any type of physics whatsoever. But
physics in general.
But if we're talking about antimatter, bro,
and black holes,
well, the reason, we would be gone.
Well, yeah, but the reason is because there was no remnants of the asteroid or the comet in the area. And that's the other thing about this Tunguska that's so strange, is if something blew up over Tunguska, there would be fragments that
nobody knows what this thing was made out of.
It wasn't. It was just a boom, right? And it was an explosion with no debris. And I can't think of a single kind of explosion out there that doesn't leave debris from its source. If you blow up a rocket,
I have one. Hold on.
What is it?
I have one.
Go ahead.
I got a conspiracy.
The Pentagon on 9/11.
There was still shit out there.
There was no plane debris. Fuck you, I win.
Hold on a second. It wasn't consistent with the description of the plane that hit the Pentagon, but there was still debris found at the Pentagon.
Of a plane.
Of something that hit the Pentagon. That's not the point. My point is...
The hole was small as fuck.
Yes. My point is, when you put a bomb in an object, you're going to have fragments of that object as debris somewhere. You're going to find something.
Well, yeah, if I put a bomb inside you, you're going to find pieces of you everywhere.
Exactly. They didn't find anything. It was just blast zone and trees falling down. There was no chunks of the asteroid found in the area. So they're saying that if there was nothing that held this explosion, then maybe something happened in the upper levels of the atmosphere that involved a mini black hole or something that caused antimatter to create itself.
I don't think any debris was found anywhere, though.
No, it wasn't.
If this thing was actually blown up above the ground, like they say, they said what it was 5,000 feet in the air, some shit like that, and that was blown up in the air. And if it was an asteroid and it really truly blew the fuck up, even if it was hundreds of miles away, there would still be debris somewhere.
Right. The only thing they have found is dust trails and high nickel concentrations in an area where there shouldn't be any as high as level of nickel. So there's that. They're saying, well, there's your debris right there. So a lot of scientists think this is wrong, but it's a theory.
I have my own theory.
You want to tell it?
Yeah, tell us, because I got one that's coming up that's going to make you shit your socks.
Okay.
Shit your socks.
Okay. What's it called? I know that it's a sonic cannon, pretty much, because I know that the Nazis were developing some sort of super weapon way back in the this was way back when I was.
Yeah,
this is
you're about 40
years.
You're 40 years later, my dude.
But you know what? It could have been happening before that.
Okay, here we go. Ready to have your brain balls exploded?
You ready?
This is from a woman who her name was Akulina. She was a woman she lived in Siberia. I guess it's a tribe called the Evenki. Mm-hmm. She was a woman who was closer than 20 miles to the epicenter at the time of the explosion. She said, "A mighty wind flattened our tent while we had been sleeping. A brilliant outburst of light blinded us. The wind was breaking trees like they were sticks. As a rising whirlwind lifted us from the ground, I lost consciousness." After she woke up, she remembers seeking her husband, Ivan, being lifted up by the blast and slammed into one of the remaining upright trees. So Ivan has really bad luck. Every other fucking tree's flat, and Sonny Bono's the only one sticking out of the ground.
And he had to bring up Sonny Bono.
Oh, hold on.
Dear God, Sonny, are you kidding me with that reference?
No.
God.
Most of the people that listen to us will probably not understand what
he
that
gets
reference
slammed
is.
into a tree.
And the ones that do are going to be insulted.
Yeah, like
So hold on a second.
that went right over my head.
So she wakes up 130 feet from the camp that they were sleeping in. He died a few hours later from fractures, shock, and blood loss. And she said our reindeer had vanished, and we haven't found them since. Okay, so she was there, and shit got fucked up. So she believes that she believes in the shamans of the Inviki tribe, who have lived in that area for thousands of years. Tunguska was caused by Agda, the god of thunder. Agda sent demons with shining eyes and fiery tails to punish disobedient Inviki men. That's what this person believes. Now, listen.
She's just saying that because her husband was killed.
Listen, this is a tribe who lived in Siberia. Chances are they didn't get National Geographic Weekly delivered to them. Okay?
This motherfucker.
This is a closed-off people who believed in religion and tribalism and shamans. They're going to blame things that they don't understand on gods. So this woman,
false gods,
Akulina, believes that Agda, the Aviki god of thunder, decided to punish her husband and her reindeer. So that's one theory. That's not been... I have to say, it hasn't been disproven yet.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hello, nerds. Come listen to the History Nerds United podcast, and let's make history fun again. We interview today's best authors, whether they are established Pulitzer Prize winners or someone debuting their first book. Let us show you that history is not a boring class you took in high school, but a place where the best stories come from. And we don't just cover history, we also love to chat about true crime, biographies, memoirs, and so much more. So head on over to History Nerds United and let us introduce you to your new favorite book and learn the story behind the story.
History Nerds United.
Okay, so let's backtrack a little. So Eric understands, and all the people that Sonny.
You calling me retarded?
No, it was over your head. So Sonny Bono.
No, fuck that. Let the people do their own homework.
That's what we're talking about.
I want to explain it.
You know what? Do it off air.
Okay, fine. I'll do it off air.
So the only thing that I can kind of get behind as far as a conspiracy theory is a UFO explosion. A lot of people believe that the Tunguska event was caused by a massive nuclear explosion of an extraterrestrial spaceship.
Okay, one little thing that we haven't discussed yet, and I think it's a pretty big topic, is, this thing happened in 1908, I believe it was?
Yes.
It wasn't investigated until 1927.
True.
Because of World War I.
Yeah.
And they put it
priorities.
They put it up for 18 years. So in 18 years, there's going to be a lot of stories that are going to be told and told again.
And things that disappear.
Exactly. So this thing wasn't exactly...
it wasn't dealt with in the most upbeat manner.
Right. I mean, this was what
honestly,
they say.
Think about it, though. If you know the area, right, and you know that something fucked up happened there.
Right.
Especially because it was investigated, 20 years later? So guarantee the people that were investigating it, either their father knew about it or something like that, because that just doesn't happen where people don't feel it.
No, I agree with you, but
will you go into the area knowing that there was a nuclear explosion there?
You don't know if it was a nuclear
explosion. No one knew it was a nuclear explosion.
But that's my point. Something went kaboom. That's really big.
All right. Okay.
Blasted trees. I'm not going there.
All right. What you got to take into consideration what man does. Okay. If there's
exploratory.
All right. If there's an explosion, people are running towards it. Okay. If there's if there's gunfire, people are running towards it. They want to know where it's coming from.
It's the people that don't live in the hood.
Okay. The thing is, people are inquisitive. They're going to find out. You don't think for one moment that nobody went into this area? I'm dealing with a fucking dickhead tonight. All right, I'm talking to the people out there. You don't think that people for 19 years people weren't investigating this?
Oh, I'm sure they were, but like you said,
I don't think it was being taken that serious. To be honest.
Yeah. This happened in Russia, right? This is still had the fucking Tsar. I forget what Tsar it was, but the Tsar was still leader of Russia.
Tsar Nicholas,
I think it was Tsar Nicholas. He wasn't exactly letting people into his country to be like, let me check that out. If anything, he was the first one going, no, we figure it out. We'll let you know. We'll update you.
So he was the Putin of his time.
He was a king.
Yeah, exactly. The Tsar is a king. But so you also this is 1908. It's a time in history where people are still uneducated in the nuclear physics and stuff like that. Like that, the theories of that stuff didn't start happening until the
60s?
No, actually a little bit past is 1915, right around World War I. Then you have 1920s, the 30s, the 40s. Because remember, Oppenheimer led the Manhattan Project in the 30s into the 40s. He's the one who figured out a way to make the A-bomb happen. So all of the ideas and the schooling that he went throughout the late 20s, early 30s, these were all theories, and not a lot of stuff was like definitely proven yet. So I think it chalks it up to the uneducated world of 1908, and then you have the war breakout, and then you have the late 20s when a lot of these new theories of astrophysicists and nuclear shit was all coming to light. Now you're going to get people to investigate because it's like, hey, we remember that boom. Let's try and figure that shit out now.
All right. So we're going to take a short little break, and then we're going to come back and have our closing arguments, I guess.
Yeah, I do want to talk about one more theory when we come back. It's UFOs, because there's actually some more evidence for that.
All right, we will be right back.
Hello, hola, konnichiwa. I have a very important question for you. Is this real? That's the motto of our weekly podcast. We question everything from the paranormal to conspiracies, even the extraterrestrials. There's no topic we won't dive into. So tune in and listen to our show every Sunday at 8 p.m. And remember, folks, question everything.
And welcome back. So we have one more to go over, and Anthony wants to talk more about the UFO.
Yes.
Conspiracy theory. Go on.
Like, I could go on and on about the gods of ancient Siberia, but we're not here to talk about that.
The false gods of ancient Siberia.
Are they real? No, they're not. Anyway, no, so the UFO, right? UFO explosion. So in 1956, there was a Russian sci-fi writer. His name was Alexander...
Yeah. You want to talk all the shit about me stuttering and stipping and stuttering all over the fucking place, but this motherfucker... Yeah, get the dick out of your mouth.
Kazanchev.
Yeah, there you go. Get the dick out of your mouth.
Alexander Kazanchev published a short
Speaking
novel.
for you, Josh. I don't want to be here either.
He published a short novel called The Explosion. And according to his story, the Tunguska event was caused by a massive nuclear explosion of an extraterrestrial spaceship. Now, in 1945, 11 years before he published that story, Kazantsev visited the ruins of Hiroshima, which we all know had a really bad day in August once.
Jesus Christ.
Near the explosion's epicenter, he noticed trees were still standing, but of course their leaves and branches were ripped right off. 6 years later, though, on his visit to Tunguska, he noticed similar patterns. There was no crater, just like in Hiroshima. There were standing trees without leaves or branches. Because of that, he came to the conclusion that the 1908 event had been caused by a massive explosion, probably of nuclear origin, because he saw the same thing in Hiroshima that he did in Tunguska. So there's other things that support this theory, actually. The nuclear explosion theory that support it. There's burn marks on the trees around the epicenter in Tunguska, but that's it. Had there been a forest fire, like any typical explosion, it would have burned all the trees in the area. But there were only marks on one side of those trees, which indicate a concentrated short-term heat. In this case, it could have been a radiation type of heat, which is similar during a nuclear explosion. This hypothesis was further explained and expanded on by the director of International UFO Network. His name's Valery Uvarov. He said that in northwestern Yakutia in Siberia, in the basin of the upper Veluty River, there is a hard-to-reach area bearing marks of a tremendous cataclysm that took place 800 years ago. Disrupted across this area are mysterious metal objects located deep underground in the permafrost. The last time that this installation shot down a meteor was on the 25th or 24th of September last year. It doesn't say when he said that, so I don't know when he says, it happened last year. When was last year? The point is that he believes that there's something up there in a very hard-to-reach portion of Siberia that's shooting down UFOs. And when it happened at the Tunguska incident, it caused a short-term radiation fire at the epicenter. It scorched the one side of the trees and then nothing else. Now, I can't get behind that aspect of it.
Yeah, because like this is my argument. You gonna have an intelligent, a so-called intelligent outer extraterrestrial race that travels through light years to get shot down by a human-made missile.
Well, who knows? It doesn't say if it's human-made, but it just says that because who knows? I don't even know what the fuck the director was talking about. But the idea...
He took 6 types of acid, didn't he?
Yeah, probably. The idea, though, that
it wasn't called acid then.
There are similarities at
medicine.
There's similarities at Tunguska as there are in Hiroshima. And presumably also Nagasaki, because the same boom boom that took them both out. That's interesting to me.
Is that the level of respect we give for those two events?
If I had a third nuclear bomb, I'd detonate it in Japan just to prove them that I wasn't sorry.
God,
Jesus
you know
Christ.
what? You know what?
We don't sit there and talk about that.
My point is...
Really, jackass?
My point is, the fact that there is this nuclear bomb that happened in Hiroshima, and it shows similarities to something that happened 40 years prior in Tunguska, is fucking frightening to me.
Well, yeah,
because if that was caused by radiation or the effects of an atomic bomb, what the hell happened in Tunguska? Like, that's the doubt factor that throws me off.
It could have been a prototype, the first ever nuclear prototype.
Not in 1908.
You don't know that.
I mean, like, there's no
the theories
historical.
And the math weren't there yet.
Yeah, there's no historical or scientific evidence to back that claim up.
It could have been Black Ops.
But we have
but that one shut you the fuck up for a second, didn't it?
No. We have documentation to know that the science didn't exist until the 30s when it was being put into practice during the Manhattan Project.
Yeah, but how do you know that?
You could sit there and ask that about any question. Literally any question at all.
Okay.
And turn around, here's something scientific. Well, how do you know that's not Black Ops? Or whatever, like come on.
The research, the theories, the papers, they weren't produced in 1908.
Yeah, you know what? Look, hold on. I got to say something. You're probably right. Okay, but to Eric's point over here, you got to admit that every time you're told, well, this stuff really didn't exist, we didn't know about it then,
Bullshit.
or something comes along that doesn't get reported in the news, but it becomes general knowledge that no, we had that for years. We had that for years.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's happened. I get that.
So I
could back that. I could sit there and maybe back that up if there was deaths or anything like that. And they're not saying anything because they want to cover up. They don't want to be blamed for deaths or something like that. Nobody died during this event.
3 people did.
Three people.
Three people died. Yeah. Allegedly died,
and we know one of them was the Eskimo's husband who got impaled by the tree.
Yeah,
Sonny Bono.
Yeah, that's right.
Sonny Bomo, Sonny,
and all the reindeer were casualties.
Bono Eskimo, whatever the hell you want to call it. But there would be no reason now, 1almost 20 years later, to sit there and continue to cover it up.
Not only that, I also want to we raced in the 30s to develop the A-bomb first.
Because we knew
Russia was doing the same goddamn thing.
And Germany.
If they had the capabilities of creating a bomb in 1908, they had 40 years to use that motherfucker and rewrite the world.
And use it in World War I and use it in World War II.
Well, you know what? Here's my argument to that. The fucking guy took himself out in all of his paperwork. There you go.
Well, I can see that with Tesla because he didn't save anything to a flash drive, and when he went belly up, everything went with him. I can get behind that. But when it, like I said earlier in the podcast, at the start of the 20th century, 1908, people were still like the scientific breakthroughs that changed the world in the 40s were not anywhere close. Nowhere near close to even being realized.
And the messed up part, as we covered in our episodes before, most of those scientific breakthroughs were all were all mostly backed by Nazi experiments.
Yeah, Nazis, they had a lot of free time on the weekend. They did a lot of experiments. But that's not the point in 1908.
Well, I know.
With Eskimos in a remote part of Siberia when there's no
I get
evidence.
It. The Eskimos are trying to start a fire. That's
there
what
was
happened.
no evidence at all from the Russian or at that point the Soviet Union doing anything like that because they didn't have the technology to do that.
All right, let me ask you a question. Can you prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this was an asteroid that exploded in the air?
Can I prove beyond a reasonable
Or
doubt?
can anybody prove it? Not just you. Anybody.
No, I don't think anyone can prove it.
Okay, then that theory is just as valid as every other theory.
Well, I know, but
no, it's not because you're also adding in the element of technology that didn't exist at the time. You can't sit there and say they tested a bomb.
Hold on. I mean, you could sit there and say that about a lot of things because if you go back in history, there's some what is the show, History's Mysteries or Modern Marvels. You sit there and think, well, how the fuck? Yeah, not sponsored. Thank you. How the fuck did they create that? They didn't have the technology of the time to sit there and create those.
So then explain the pyramids to me.
Right. Well,
exactly.
Hold on, there's working theories on how the pyramids were built, but the pyramids didn't need technology the way this did. When you're talking about hold on a second. When you're talking about using a bomb, do you know how intricate those fucking bombs were? Even the first atomic bomb was so fucking intricate. It was a modern miracle that the fact that it even worked.
I wouldn't call it a miracle.
No, I know. But at the time, that's exactly what everyone thought it was. They said, this is going to end the war. This is going to be the major deterrent. No one had...
But the war was over.
Nobody had figured that out yet. And there was even speculation that when they did drop it, it was going to be a dud. So the fact that that bomb was so intricate and so hard to make and we barely figured out how to do it. Now you're going to say, oh, yeah, they had the same technology 40 years later on a level...
40 years prior.
40 years prior on a level that's 100 times even more deadlier. There's right there. It goes right into the fantasy realm for me. I can't believe that. Oh. I can believe the comet thing, but I can't say that, oh, yeah, they were testing a nuke in Siberia in 1908.
There's one thing I've learned in my short existence on this planet. I will never doubt anything that could have implications that is done by the government. Now, you might be very, very right. You might be absolutely right.
Any government, not just the U.S. government.
Right, any government. Because I'll tell you why. You know, we just came out of, we're now in the end of this pandemic, so to speak, right? We're in the endemic, they want to call it. And that's all well and good. We still haven't found out where it came from, how it originated. Many, many theories, okay? But one thing is certain.
Not now, Eric. Not now.
One thing is certain. When they told you these laboratories did not exist, they lied. They existed. So anything to me when it comes to governments, you know, it's just a little shaky to me that this thing happened in a place where there was no people and there was no witnesses.
The perfect place to experiment on something.
And and nobody got near it in 18 years.
But yeah, I understand that. But
it's not beyond the realm of possibility here.
Well, to me, it's beyond the realm because number one, the lack of technology, the lack of the thoughts that you needed, the paperwork, the theories, all of that didn't exist.
Well, hold on a minute.
And then.
Well, thoughts may have existed. Like everyone.
Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Do you think for 1 minute that if Russia had this technology, they were sharing this technology? They didn't even know if it worked. So they're going to experiment it in a place where there's nobody going to get to. So maybe it didn't exist in
This is world-shaking shit, though. Like I said, this is the fourth. This would be considered the fourth largest explosion if it were to be a bomb. Right. There's nothing at the time in the world man-made that could have done that. And if they had the capability to do that experiment, there would have been other experiments that followed, which would have been noticed by the world, because if this was picked up on the bar graphs and all those things, they would have found that out too. And like I said, you had 40 years and 2 major world wars that Russia was involved in. Mm-hmm. They would have dropped that fucking bomb.
Well, hold on.
If they knew how to harness it.
Well, or
it was angels fighting demons.
Goddamn, it was Agda, the goddess of the Ikiviki people.
No, hold on. Or they could have done an experiment with this technology, and they were like, "Oh fuck!"
And they obliterated themselves completely.
Either that, or they turned around and said, "Oh fuck, this is bigger than what we expected. We weren't expecting this, and we don't want to kill as many people."
Then where's the evidence for any of that technology? Where's
Wait.
Hold on a second.
It's in the same place as it is with the evidence of every other theory here. We don't know.
No, but my point is, every theory that led to the A-bomb was built off of someone else's theory that came before him, right?
Of course, no idea was original.
Whether it was Oppenheimer or if it was, I've drawn a blank on all the other people part of the Manhattan Project. I know like 4 of them, but every single person who was a part of the Manhattan Project got to the party by experimenting based off of the theories and the experimentation of those who came before them.
Well, yeah, you're only talking about 40 years, though.
Right, you're absolutely right. But you're talking back further, but the further back you go, the less people are going to understand. So if you're going to sit there and tell me that they were able to figure out how to build a bomb by 1941, by 1908, they didn't figure out how to build a bomb. At 1908, they were just figuring out how to maybe figure out that uranium is a thing that when you touch it the right way, it's going to release a radiation thing and fuck you up.
Didn't we create uranium, though?
No, uranium is
natural.
It's a natural thing, but I forget. I don't know.
It's like low on the. I know it's like in the hundreds in the.
Well, they mine
it. Yeah.
What could have happened though is they could have found something like uranium and done something like that.
The drilling could have exploded all that.
Well, no, if it's not going to be in the air, and you're going to have a crater if there's going to be drilling.
Hold on, let me finish one thing. And like I said, you're working off the back of those who came before you. Mm-hmm. So you're telling me that, and you have the Russian, the Soviet Unions, the Soviets had this theories that they put into action, and they were making bombs.
Who says it was a bomb?
Or whatever. They were making some sort of thing that would explode, which is kind of the definition of a fucking bomb. My point is, they had all of that information 40 years prior than anyone else on the planet did, and there's no evidence, there's no theories, there's no papers, there's no scientists who came out and said, oh yeah, we've been working on this for 50 years before anyone else. No one has done that. There's not a single shred of evidence that says that they had the technology or the experiments or the theories to pull off an explosion of that magnitude.
They could have erased all of that because they thought it was a mistake that they were doing.
Well, you also got to understand, too, you're dealing with 2 different governments here. When this happened,
you're dealing with the royal government.
Right. It wasn't the Soviet Union.
Yeah, and the king probably turned around, or the czar.
It was the czar.
Turned around and said, no, that's not good. Destroy it. Like, destroy any evidence of it.
And that, again, that's just throwing it out there to show to you, Anthony, that...
See, this is why I love...
You're probably right. I'm not going to sit here and poo-poo your theory, but...
And one last thing.
It's got to go along with every other theory.
Everything that happened for the Manhattan Project, like I said, building off of the last person, this is people from all over the planet. You had Germans, you had Russians, you had Americans, you had people from all over the planet who came together, them too, who all came together to say, these are the theories, and let's work together, and that's how the Manhattan... You have this group of people in a country that was ruled by a czar, dictatorship type of shit. I can't see the science division under Tsar Nicholas being this advanced. Because if they were that advanced, they would have used those scientific findings to put themselves in a better position in the world. We would be speaking Russian right now.
All I'm saying.
But listen. If we understood the science behind ancient pyramids and stuff like that too, we would be out fucking flying through like with nanotechnology and shit. But you know what? That's another story too.
And also, what if it was a rogue out part of the element of the government that the Tsar didn't know about?
Again,
and then when he found out about it,
the one part of that revolution.
This is why I love doing this to Anthony, because Anthony will sit there and you'll have a theory, and Anthony's like, my theory is based on science and evidence and blah 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 blah, and then you'll throw some like not stupid, but like some wild, outlandish theories, and he just takes it and completely goes insane about it.
Yeah, but see, again,
I love that. How the fuck that is not based on anything? Why would you pull that out of the sky like that?
Because there's no evidence.
I took LSD, bro.
Like, okay, if there was someone
like my boy the plumber, bro, he's sitting there.
That nigga fried.
If there was some sort of evidence to show me that like Tunguska could have been a science experiment gone wrong, then I would sit there and be like, yo, there's evidence for that. I'm going to shut up now because maybe the Russians were ahead of their time. But they weren't, because it doesn't exist.
Let me ask you this. So you're saying that you don't believe it because there's no shred of evidence and of whatever.
Yeah.
You had 18 years between the
cover it up even
explosion
more.
to having somebody step on the property to property.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that could have went down.
Scientifically step on the
Who
property.
knows?
Who knows who was on that property?
Now, granted, this is a little bit out there. It's a little bit farther out there than the theory that something exploded in the air, and I get that. But again, if there's one thing you got to learn, you can't
especially on our show, bro.
Until there's evidence of some kind. Every door has to be open.
No, that's fine. I don't mind leaving that door open a crack, but I'm not looking in there. Here's what it sounds like to me, just so you understand where I'm coming from. This is what it sounds like to me. You're saying that Russians were flying in the air in airplanes, right, 40 years before an airplane was invented. And I'm sitting there going, no, the technology for making an airplane was impossible. Mm-hmm. They didn't have the know-how to do that.
But they did have the technology of attaching stuff to a weather balloon. Or a balloon and filling it with helium.
I'm talking about flying in an airplane specifically.
No, what he's doing is he's making
anyone could fly in a weather balloon.
No, but that I understand what you're both saying. That he's making more of a. This is what you're saying as far as the technology aspect. He was like, Russia was flying 40 years before the technology of flying was invented,
and there's no planes left over from that era, but they're claiming it happened. It's almost like North Korea when he said that he invented the fucking cheeseburger. He did it then. No one else had a cheeseburger before fucking Kim Jong-un.
Wait, hold up. He
no,
didn't?
No, he didn't. Damn you, Eric.
He never shits. He bowled a perfect 300 game when he was 5 years old. And the fucking people believe that because the people have no choice in believing it.
You know, Anthony, I'm just saying we have one download and unknown. You don't know who the fuck that is. Stop talking.
I don't give a fuck if it's Pluto. My point is,
Pluto's not a planet.
Well, if that one unknown is Kim Jong-un or whatever the fuck his name is.
Imagine he's a fan.
Yeah. You know what? You contact me.
I like these guys.
We're going to be like Dennis Rodman and just seeing.
I will send you a mug, a poster, and a T-shirt if I can get one your fat fucking size. So you
walk around. We get invited to the cab. We're like, you know what? I like what you did with the place.
Yes. It's going to be us, Dennis Rodman, and Donald Trump on his Walk of Fame.
I'm going to wear my shirt. North Korea is best Korea.
I can just picture us at the party next year. The birthday party. Dennis Rodman leading the chant. Right behind him.
Fuck around, CIA going fucking recruit us, and we gonna be the real life interview, y'all.
No, it's done. We're done. It's over.
It's been over, bro.
Well, we're at the 55-minute mark. I think this episode is over.
No, that's not what I meant.
No, we've been over, bro.
Anywho, so yeah, we're gonna get real quick. It's not whether we believe, because this obviously did happen. There's evidence of this happened, but what do you believe happened? And we'll start off with Dad. What do you believe happened?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. There's so many possibilities in this situation. You have no clear-cut evidence on anything. There's not enough evidence for the airburst, in my opinion. You know, there's not enough evidence of a bomb that was being built by them. Where do you go? I don't have any evidence of UFOs. If you're going to ask me my gut feeling, my gut's going to tell me that I believe somewhere along the line it was some kind of explosion from something not from this planet. Now, you can say it's an asteroid or whatever.
That's very specific.
All right, okay. An asteroid. I'll go with the official theory because it seems to be the only one.
You can say on the fence. You can sit there and go, I don't know.
Well, I am on it. Obviously, I'm on the fence, right, but so it hurts when you're asked on the fence, and I don't want to sit on the fence. But anyway, so that's my theory.
Depends
this week.
on how thick the fence is.
Only you, Eric.
Pass.
You can't pass.
Oh, yeah, I just did.
What is this, password?
All right, Anthony.
All of a sudden, he turned into Alan Ludden.
I don't.
You have to explain that to him too now.
I don't think it was anything. I don't think it was a bomb. And I don't believe that there was any sort of UFO evidence. I think it was something nuclear because of the similarities with Hiroshima and
I got my
that.
answer.
But what that thing was, I have no way of knowing. Maybe it was something from maybe it was an asteroid that came. It was a near miss.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
It came a little bit too close to Earth, and the right conditions just made it go pop, like I said on the beginning of the podcast, like a sonic boom type of thing, and it was already radiating. Some the radiated material from outer space fly too close to the Earth, it go boom. The sonic boom pushed the trees down, but it left some radiation scarring. I could see that. That to me makes the most sense. So
explain to me what a near miss is, though. I really want to know.
See, a near miss. Asteroid came and then it said, "Oh, I got to make a U-turn."
See, a near miss is when you collide into something, which makes no fucking sense, because that's a near hit. Like a near miss should be when two things almost collide, but then they safely disengage and they fly away from each other.
Oh look, they nearly missed. Shout out to GC.
A collision is a near miss.
I changed my answer to God. It's God.
God caused that.
Yep, God was feeling bored that day.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And threw a curveball at Earth.
He's like, you know what? Let me fuck with these people.
Again, after the fucking dinosaurs. That time I missed. No, he yo-yoed an asteroid. That's what he did.
Here's my... It's like... I just want to say one thing. We're completely dismissing the Aviki god of thunder. But by saying
you can't, he already said it's a false god.
Bro, hold on a second. That's what I'm saying. We're dismissing the Aviki god of thunder, but our god's the one who did it. It goes back to, fuck you, my god has a bigger dick than your god.
I'm just going to say, I'm gonna be on the fence myself, because I don't know what the fuck. There's the problem with most of this is there's a lack of evidence on all theories. And that's the problem.
I'm sorry,
I think that's...
we're just canceled.
I think that's what the problem with this fucking mystery is that there's no evidence to support anything.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Which makes it very compelling, but also very difficult to fucking talk about.
Put my check in the mail and hang up my headphones.
Well, you see, something like this, I found it interesting to talk tonight because there is no clear-cut answer. And to me, that's when a million different things come in.
Well, like I said, you felt the same way about the Yachtliv Pass thing, and you were like, "Oh, there's nothing here," and then you found more to it.
Well, all I'm saying is that is an interesting topic.
It didn't help this fucking thing blew up in Siberia. I mean, if it was Miami, we'd have a different scenario.
Nah, man, if there was, it would have been stolen.
Oh no.
Anyway, let's take it to wrap us up.
No, we're going to wrap it. I do want to preview a little about next week's episode to see if Anthony would like to be on, because Anthony chooses what episodes he wants to be on.
That's right. I have the kid. I'm the swing here. I go.
Well, next week we're going to have to do Thursday because I'm out of here on Friday night. So.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. So next week's episode, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about roaming ruins. With roaming ruins is, and I'll do a little basis. There was a ruin that was found that had Italian artifacts. A whole ruin found that had Italian artifacts, but it was found in South America.
Oh, I thought you meant like a Coliseum that's like one day it's in Texas, next day it's in Alberta.
No, it's
Canada.
not on tour, asshole.
It's a roaming ruin. Like we know it's thousands of years old. We just can't keep track of the fucking thing.
No, there was ruins found in South America, I believe it was, that had more Italian stuff made to it, and these are thousands of year old ruins.
All right, that sounds like fun.
So yes, that would be that's going to be next week's episode.
There was explorers. They brought the shit with them. They left it when they left. What do you want from me?
It's cursed.
Speaking of cursed,
that is a curse.
Did you see a rock containing a demon cracked open in Japan, and then they found a sarcophagus that they never opened before in Egypt? I'm just sitting like, go on, one more for the trifecta.
Yes, maybe that'll lower our gas prices. Anywho, we will see everyone next week. Everyone say goodbye.
Adios.
Goodbye.
Rest in peace, Taylor Hawkins.
Yes, rest in peace, Taylor Hawkins. We will see everyone next week on next week's episode. And just remember, everybody, question everything. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Konnichiwa, bitches. It's Ryu West speaking. If you want to find out more about the Is This Real podcast, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/isthisrealpc, or on Twitter at isthisrealpc, or on Instagram at isthisrealpodcast, all one word.